Today on the Stay at Home Chef, I'm showing you how to make creme brulee cheesecake cupcakes. I know how much you guys love my cheesecake cupcakes, and I also know how much you guys love creme brulee. So today I'm marrying the two together into one delicious dessert. To start, you'll want to preheat an oven to 275 degrees Fahrenheit. And yes, I really do mean that low of a temperature. And then line a cupcake tin with the little paper liners. Set that pan aside for a second, and we're going to move on to making our graham cracker crust. And for that, you'll need 1 sleeve or 9 graham crackers. They need to be crushed, and I like to crush mine in a food processor. So I'm going to add those in and pop the lid on, and then it's time to pulverize. Then we're going to pour those graham cracker crumbs into a mixing bowl. Make sure you get all of them. Then add in a 1/4 cup of sugar. And I give it just a quick stir before adding in my melted butter. You'll need 6 tablespoons of melted butter, and you want to stir this until everything's moistened. It should almost look like wet sand. I'm going to switch to a spoon and start dividing this graham cracker crust up amongst my 12 cupcakes. Once you have them all full, use the back of your spoon to gently press them down and compact that graham cracker crust. We have our crust, now we'll move on to our cheesecake filling. You'll need 16 ounces of softened cream cheese, and you want to place that into a mixing bowl with 1/2 cup of sugar. We're going to use a hand mixer to cream this all together. After that's nice and smooth, you'll add in 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract and 1/2 cup of sour cream, 1 large egg, and then my trick for a creme brulee style cheesecake is to make it custard-like. So we're gonna need 2 egg yolks. So I'm just gonna separate out my egg here. Use the shells to go back and forth until I just have a yolk, and add that in with my cheesecake mixture. You'll need 2 egg yolks, so you'll need to separate 2 eggs. And then once that's in there, we can cream this all together. Make sure you scrape the sides and bottom of the bowl so that everything gets mixed in. Then I'm going to scoop up some of the batter and start filling up our cupcakes. You want to fill these until they're actually quite full, just barely to the rim. Last, I like to take the back of a spoon and just make sure the tops are a little smoothed out so you don't get any weird peaks. Then we're going to bake these in the 275 degree oven for about 25 minutes. Let them cool in the pan for about an hour before removing and transferring them to a baking sheet so that you can slide them in the fridge. They need to be completely cool before you brulee them. I have all of my cheesecake cupcakes out of the fridge. They're completely cooled and we're ready to brulee. First, you want to gently peel off the wrapper so that we don't light that on fire when we're bruleeing. Carefully sprinkle about a teaspoon of sugar onto the top of each one just before you're ready to serve so that we can brulee. Once they're all sugared up, it's time to torch them. If you don't have a torch, you can always try doing this underneath the broiler setting in your oven, but depending on your oven, the results may vary, so watch them super closely. But if you have a kitchen torch, now's the time to use it. Get it all fired up, and then working one at a time, you kind of want to move in circles and hold your gun away from the cupcake and let that sugar melt and caramelize. It helps if you kind of work from the outside all the way to the inside so that the caramelized sugar can pool in the middle. You know it's going to be a good recipe when you get to play with fire. These are best served as soon as they've been bruleed so that you still have that crackling crust on top. If not, the crust on top, that caramelized sugar, will soften a little bit as it sits against that cheesecake. Then you are ready to eat, and oh my gosh, did you hear that crack through the top? It tastes like creme brulee mixed with cheesecake. It is so good. Thanks for watching. You can find the full written recipe in the video description. Be sure to subscribe, like, and follow, and check out the rest of my videos where you can find hundreds of restaurant quality recipes you can easily make at home. Now I'm gonna eat all of these. They're so good.